Joining us this morning is Mr. Duane Koller, host of Crawford County Outdoors and also the chairman of the Meadville Area Recreation Authority. Duane, good morning. Good to see you.
Well, good morning, Luke. It's good to see you, too.
You know, I looked down at my phone when I texted you yesterday, and it's almost been a year, I think, since we last spoke.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
That's insane. I apologize. I don't know what, time. It's just a crazy thing, isn't it?
Well, I guess so.
Well, how you been?
Everything's good. This has been a real interesting year at the rec complex. This is the 50th anniversary this year in 24, and so I'm thinking we're actually going to have a couple of different of the outdoor show. We're going to have a couple of them over there. In fact, we're talking. I got to work it out here, but we're talking about maybe having one here while hockey and figure skating and all that stuff is still going on here. We're talking about maybe having one here even just this coming month in this month.
Oh wow!
So, and then there'll be a number of different things going on, that's kicking it off. And there's a big stage that's going to be built there that's going to be hosting the different concerts and all that kind of stuff. And so many things have changed here in just in the last few years that things have turned very positive over there.
Well, you talk about community assets. I would say the MARC is more of a treasure, and it's utilized not just by people in Meadville, but outside of the area as well. People come in and utilize that complex because you don't have hockey and figure skating available everywhere.
No, I 100% agree with you. Whenever that first opened, I was in ninth grade when it was being built, and then when I was in 10th grade, several of my friends, that were swimmers, they started all their swimming meets and everything over there, and my sport was basketball, and so I did cross country and track to get in shape for basketball
Right.
season, and the cross country instantly, the whole cross country course basically went all through the rec complex property there, and so I basically remember that thing. We went up and over. The dam that's there for Rat Lake that's right behind the high school there.
Yeah.
We went up and over the dam, and then all through behind the rec complex, all through there for the cross country course. That was really interesting. That was good training. I mean, that was good to get you in shape.
So talk about the 50th anniversary. This is a big thing. How much pressure do you have on yourself, especially knowing the history and being a part of it from the beginning? But is there a lot of pressure on you and the committee to get this right, or do you have a lot of support where you go, okay, I think this is going to be great?
There's a good bit of support there, and a lot of the staff down at the rec complex is really excited about this, and there's going to be a number of different events this year, and so I think it's all going to be a great thing. The fact that it's 50 years, that's just kind of stunning. There was a stretch. The school district cut its funding to the rec complex here. What was that about? No, 8 years ago or something like that. Cut it dramatically, like 80% cut it back, and it was the huge issues with the rec complex. I was just back on the board whenever that happened, and it's like, Jesus, is it going to survive? And some local community partners have jumped in, and Westmead, the city of Meadville, and Vernon Township all stayed in place, and now like I said, some other things have come along, and a bunch of new things have started since that all happened, and it's still a very positive thing, and like you just said, it's a huge community asset. It's a wonderful thing that, I mean, most of the medium and small sized towns don't have something like that. It's just an awesome thing to have that available. I guess it was almost exactly a year ago, the snow and ice caved in the roof of the pool. And so basically Meadville had no pool, whenever that happened, and when it was shut down for like 6 weeks or whatever, till the construction company could get the new roof, together and get it moved in there and everything. And of course it was a concern about safety, it was in the middle of winter last year, whenever that happened.
Right.
So it's, you're not going to have folks, come in there. There were two layers of the roof, and it was the outside layer that got ripped in, and the inside layer was in was in okay shape. It's like the ice fell through on the inside layer, and then it kind of slid down. And it was so the ice was all inside, and
Oh, wow.
it was quite a mess. Um, but a number of things like that are going to, things are going to wear out, after something gets to be 50 years old. The dehumidifier wore out. The ice, the machine that's smooths the ice out. That wore out a few years back or whatever. And all those things we're working those things. We're working through those things. That's it's all working out pretty well now. So I'm me positive. I'm real very, very happy about how all these things are working out and making the rec complex. They asked me to write a letter, which I did, and I said, well, I'm looking forward to the next 50 years.
That's fantastic, and that's great. And there's a lot of opportunities for, again, the community to be engaged with what's going on and to support the MARC. And there's fundraising events that are going on. There's capital campaigns that go on. So kind of, if you're watching this and you go, boy, I don't want to see that go away. I don't want to lose that. What can the average person do to help support the MARC?
There's like you just said, there's several events coming up this year. There's even little stuff like going over to the MARC, and they have like a coffee cup that you can buy for $10, and then they'll fill it up for you every time you go over there. At the little restaurant thing there. So there's a number of things like that that you can do to help out. But like you said, there's a bunch of events coming up this year. So I want to make it a point to get them out there, so folks know about them, so folks can come over and participate and help. There's the MARF, the Meadville Area Rec Foundation, and so we want to build that up so that there's money built up in there so that whenever these when something gets 50 years old, stuff does wear out, and so whenever we have to replace things, we want to have the option to have some funds to not be just like shut. When the pool roof caved in, there was no other option other than to shut down for a while. The insurance did cover most of it, not all of it, but most of it, and the MARF was able to kick in to cover up the rest. But when like I said, 50 years old, that's stuff does wear out after 50 years. And to have an asset like that, you're right. The fundraisers, are critically important.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really important.
I went skiing for the first time in 15 years last week, and
Oh, wow.
I was fine the first couple days, but like day 3, I was like, ooh, that's a little sore. Yeah, I need to work that muscle out a little bit better. So yeah, absolutely, it's important to, and and you don't know what's going to happen, so to have some funds available for emergency situations is extremely important.
Right.
So folks can go to the website. They can stop in. There's lots of ways to help support the mission of the MARC and to keep things going.
Absolutely, you're correct. Yep, you're dead right. Yep.
All right, so let's transition a little bit, and we'll come back and recap the stuff with the MARC in just a little bit. Crawford County Outdoors, brand new year. You kind of teased us with some of the programming you want to put together involving the MARC, but do you have other things on the list that you'd like to accomplish this year?
Well, the Veterans Hunt's coming up again, and so we're going to have the Veterans Hunt. Now that's in March. 2 years ago it was in February, and it was brutal. It was just real strong wind, and you could almost not hear anybody talking. And it was funny that they have a pheasant and chucker hunt, and this one pheasant jumped up and was flapping, and just like totally stood still. It was like locked. It was trying to fly into the wind, and it was so of course it got shot. Yeah. And then last year they moved it back to March, and it was much better weather-wise. This has been an unusual year weather-wise. I've only had my snowblower out I think 2 or 3 times this year. And typically it's been probably about 10 times by now that I've had the snowblower out. So I mean, this looks like a beautiful morning outside. I took the dogs out for a walk this morning, and it looks like it's going to be a nice day here. So, but I expect there'll be some more snow here before the end of the before the end of the winter. But the Veterans Hunt, that's coming up. Now last year I took I think it was in the beginning of March last year. I took my camera and everything, and I went out to Pymatuming, and they were having a special event to like celebrate the bald eagles, my microphone went dead as I was filming
Oh,
filming the slides and the explanation of all that kind of stuff. So I just the most recent show we just had, in fact, it's just playing now, is called Viewer Video. So I had video of the mother eagles up in the nests. There's 5 eagles nests around Pymatuming,
wow.
and you can see the little baby eagles' heads, and you can see the mother up there, in several of the nests, and so that was in the Viewer Video show, and so we're going to be doing that one again. And so I'm also kind of looking forward to maybe hiking some of the French Creek. Like I said, 2 years ago was the French Creek River of the Year, and so we did a number of things with French Creek, and they have a number of the Conservancy has a number of places where you can go on hikes. So we're gonna see if we can. We did one of those last year called the Brooks. I think it's called the Brooks Landing. We did a hike last year there. That was kind of fun. That's halfway between Meadville and Sagertown. And like I said, there's several other ones, and so maybe we can do some more hikes this year. I'm looking forward to getting that, and doing that. So this is gonna be a fun year.
Oh, that's fantastic. Let's do this real quick. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream Television and on Armstrong's Neighborhood Channel. Duane Koller with us here this morning, of course, host of Crawford County Outdoors and chairman of the MARC Authority. So, busy year for you, Duane. You got a lot going on.
Well, I think so. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. You could do a show. I saw everybody posting on Sunday, everybody out golfing. So, you might have to transition your show for a little bit. Maybe a strange question, maybe not. Big solar eclipse happening in April. And one of the questions that always comes up is wildlife. What wildlife is going to do, how they're going to react to the solar eclipse. And they said, if you're driving, you have to be careful because the animals are going to think, oh, it's nighttime. And they're going to start to come out and, be around the roads again. And there's a lot to that. Your thoughts on the solar eclipse and what the wildlife will be doing?
I've been kind of wondering about that. I've been kind of wondering about that too. My brother and sister-in-law bought a house in Florida, so we actually might be gone during the time of the solar eclipse. So,
okay.
So we might be visiting them in Florida because we haven't been down there to visit their new place. So they had it for a couple of years now. I think this is the second year they've had it. So we're looking forward to going down to visit them. And I think that's the week that we're going. But what you said is, I was concerned about that too. It's like all of a sudden it's going to get pitch black, in the middle of the day. And yeah, what is going to happen with that? That's a little bit of a concern. So. I would say just what you said, for folks out there, if you're in the car or whatever, be cautious because there might be, there might be animals all over the place. And we had a show, I guess it was right about this time last year, and my sister-in-law Jackie Orson, she got her first deer, and of course, opening the show, I had to ask her because I was in her car, and the deer went and tried to jump over the car, smashed into the windshield, and smashed her windshield.
Oh no!
And that same thing has happened to her car like 3 or 4 other times. And so I asked her to start the show. I said, "No, Jackie, is this like to settle the score?" And she said, "It sure is." So she got her first deer, and that was to settle the score, for the deer smashing up her car all the time. So that is an issue. I mean, that's something you got to be cautious about.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure even weather like this is throwing everybody off as well. So.
Oh yeah. I maybe a little bit later last year, I mean, everything was like foggy all the time, and I'm thinking, and here there was some big wildfire in Canada, and it just kept like clouding everything up, and when we were doing the Brock's lookout hike there, it was kind of cloudy that day, and I'm talking to Brenda Costa about that, and she says, oh yeah, it had it's an impact, but it hasn't really affected anything, and thank goodness we didn't have any wildfires here or whatever, but that what seemed like fog, wasn't a healthy thing. That was not a great thing. So
does it? And I know this is probably one of the reasons you enjoy doing your show is you get to meet so many interesting people. You get to explore and experience so many interesting places that we just take for granted or don't even pay attention to as we're driving, through the county. Here in 2024, does it still surprise you or? No, it just comes with the territory.
I do look forward to those things that what you just said. I look forward to those things an awful lot. Another thing in 2024 that's going to be a 50th anniversary is Woodcock Lake. And so I was thinking maybe we could do something out at Woodcock Lake to celebrate their 50th anniversary. Because same thing, I was in high school at the time whenever that opened, and remember that. And across the dam, there's a like a 1 mile hiking trail that goes across the top of the dam, and a bunch of stuff on the downhill side of the dam, and that's my favorite hunting grounds. That's the part kind of east of the lake. There is the game lands, and that's close to my house and everything. So we'll see. There's, like you said, there's lots of stuff out there. We've been doing the outdoor show for, oh boy, 15 years now, maybe even going on 20 years now.
Wow.
But there's still lots of stuff that we haven't stepped into yet. So really looking forward to that.
It's great because you talk to these folks and they just, we just do this. It's not a big deal. But you go, no, this is quite an achievement, or you have a lot of success with what you do. These are great stories to tell. And we'd be missing a lot of those if we didn't have people like you to capture them and to have those conversations with some of these folks.
I really like the idea of the folks here getting to hear about the stuff that maybe they don't even realize is nearby them, and they can get out and check it out, and go out and do some things, and get take a hike and get healthy, and all those things.
Yeah.
When I was talking with Brenda last year, she and I had gone on a trip down French Creek on the River of the Year thing, and I said, okay, now what about the folks who don't have a kayak or they don't have a canoe or whatever? She says, yeah, come out and hike the trail here. That's a good healthy thing for you. So that was a great point. That was a great point to make.
Well, there's so much negativity. We even got some of it around Groundhog Day. PETA doesn't want Punxsutawney Phil to do his thing. They should do a coin toss instead. And it's like, I don't think people understand, like, the folks around here appreciate nature. They want to keep things clean and healthy. They are hunting for healthy reasons. I mean, there's a lot of positivity that goes along with this. And again, a show like yours captures that. And you look at that and go, oh, okay, yes.
You're 100% right. I think outdoors is a great thing. I mean, I keep seeing news stories about kids, and all they're doing is stuff, and they're having mental issues and all this kind of stuff. Man, get outside, get outside and do stuff outside. And Crawford County is an area where there's lots of outside stuff to do. So exactly what you said. I try and emphasize those things and let folks know about them, that maybe they missed them or whatever, and get out there and enjoy those things.
Well, and the other side to what you do is you highlight things that you can do with your hands, and not just woodworking things, which you've done an amazing job with, but the cooking side with Chef Lisa. I mean, there's so many things that you kind of spark that creativity. And again, hopefully people are watching going, yes, maybe I should take that hike. Yeah, maybe I should go, take my kid out hunting.
One of the things that Lisa and I, every time I go, to the store to get groceries or whatever, people talk to me. All they want to talk about is Lisa's recipes. That's what they want to talk about. So this most recent show, the viewer video show, I made it a point to one time, it was probably maybe 5 years ago or whatever, on the show, I was showing how you take a pheasant and like clean everything up.
Yeah.
A lot of people just take the pheasant, they get a pheasant and they just take the breast off and whatever. That's only half the meat on the bird, the other half. So I was showing, how you can trim it all off and get rid of the tendons and ligaments and all that kind of stuff. And so, I mean, it took 20 minutes or whatever, but that was part of the viewer video show. And then we used that bird for Lisa. She did a pheasant recipe, and she always makes it a point. It's like, if you don't have available pheasant, then you can use chicken, you can use a turkey, you can use you could use other things to for that recipe. And so, and she always says that, and like I said, when I see people, they want to talk. That's what they want to talk about. They want to talk about when I jump in with all the guys I go deer hunting with, they want to talk about her recipes. That's what they want to talk about.
Well,
so I always make it a point when I'm going down there and meeting up with the guys. I'll make photocopies of the recent recipes, for venison things, and take them down and share, and share them, and so that's a popular thing.
Well, put it on your list. Get that cookbook ready for the holiday season. You've got less than a year now, so. Real quick, Duane, just recap everything that's going on with the MARC big 50th anniversary.
So the 50th anniversary, there is going to be different events that are going on throughout the summer. The spring, I think the actual 50th anniversary, I think, was in April, I think. But so I'm going to get all the details of that. But there'll be several events going on.
Okay.
So yeah, keep tuned in. We'll try and plug those on the on the outdoor show, and I think they'll probably be in the paper, and there'll be other things like that they'll be available. So, and they'll be on the website. Like you said before, they'll be on the website. So yeah, definitely join in there. There'll be lots of fun things to celebrate the 50th anniversary of that. So
all right.
I think that's just a tremendous thing. I mean, that's just an awesome community asset.
Well, come back and update us on everything that's going on, and of course you can catch Duane on Crawford County Outdoors. Duane, good to see you. Thank you for your time.
Luke, thanks.
All right, take care.